What up? This is the White Devils podcast. I am Raville. We're a dynamic duo today thus far. I'm about to bring Eddie in a minute. Rich is running a little behind because he has some personal matters to attend to, but he will be here soon. We're not gonna jump right into everything today. We're gonna ease into the shit show that's basically been going on in the last week so far. But me and Eddie were out of town. I was in Vegas for my 40th birthday extravaganza, which basically just meant I went and climbed some fucking rocks and got high for 5 days. Um, Eddie was in DC. He went out there before the election and stayed up
Chocolate City.
for a couple weeks. How was DC before the election, and how was it after the election?
DC was a ghost town before the election, and it pretty much remained a ghost town after the election. The thing about DC is that if you're not a person of color, you're a transplant. Nobody that is born in DC that can afford to or is will or nobody stays in DC if they have options, right? Like and that's not a shot at the DC, people of color community. It's just a fact that most of the people who work in DC are not from DC. They're sickos, right? They work for the federal government or something else. So it was interesting because nobody was doing any work that week before the election because there's no work to be done, right? They're waiting to see what's going to happen with the election. So it was very quiet. We went to Congress and it was chill. I mean, they had the fences and everything up, and security guards were out there. But I mean, it was chill. There was nobody out. There was very few people out there, and the people that were out there were just tourists walking around, hanging out. And it was generally pretty quiet up until the election, and even I would say the week of the election, things didn't really start popping off as far as people fighting in the streets and things like that until the Saturday, the week after the election, which would have been the 14th or the 15th.
Okay.
Which is when you started seeing those videos of like the Proud Boys fighting Antifa and things like that. And I think that
Imagine a bunch of people fighting like this.
it's like in King of the Hill when Bobby's trying to fight.
Roundhouse
Like,
punches and shit.
So yeah, it's interesting. I think the nature of the election with this pandemic and everything kind of took a lot of the energy out, right? Like a lot of people I knew that wanted to see Trump lose didn't get that moment of seeing him lose, right? They wanted a big landslide, 400 electoral votes versus 100 or something like that, 138. And it's not what we got. We got an election that took forever by normal standards to conduct. And so we kind of saw that Trump was losing. We kind of saw that he was ahead, and then slowly he started losing and losing and losing. And so they didn't really certify until, or they didn't call the race until that Saturday.
They wanted to be sure because they knew no matter what there's going to be some kind of issue.
Right.
So we knew
he's 74 years old and he's going to throw a tantrum regardless.
Like a little toddler on the ground.
Yeah. But it was interesting that the energy in the city felt pretty like calm and chill and like, let's just wait and see what happens tomorrow. We're still waiting on the results. And then once the results hit, then everyone was just like, oh, well, yeah, we knew the election was over 3 days ago. Like people were still going to pop champagne, but it wasn't that moment that everyone wanted of like that people have been waiting for 4 years. But I think it helped diffuse a lot of the issues too. I mean, the Proud Boys weren't going to sit around for 3 or 4 weeks waiting for the race to be called. So they came in for the one weekend and then they left, and now they're gone because it's over. The election is over. There's nothing else to do except to fight. Antifa at one day out of the 2 weeks, and that was it. But pretty interesting. I have been to DC before on a non-election year, and when you're actually in that cycle of governing things, the city's a lot different.
Yeah, it's very the hustle bustle of the city is very much alive usually.
Yeah, exactly. Um,
Everybody coming and going. What you get a chance to do while you're there?
so we did a couple of things. We went to the museums. We did the the National Mall. We went to the Martin Luther King Museum, or the his statue that they have out there.
What were
Uh,
the what's DC's COVID precautions like? They
uh,
capped how many people could get in a place, or
yeah, exactly. So we went to the Museum of the American Indian, for example, and you had to have asserted you had to come in with your group, no more than 3 or 4 people. Everybody wearing their masks, socially distancing as much as possible. But yeah, there was just like not as many people allowed in the museum. Um, and so it's nice because you can walk at your own pace, and you don't sometimes you go to the museum, you feel rushed, like, oh, let me check this out because there's 20 people behind me that want to take a photo.
yeah.
And it wasn't like that at all. So we got to do a couple museums, we went to the monuments, had a bunch of good seafood. But that was pretty much it. I mean, most of it was just either working from home or watching CNN.
Yeah, like I said, I went to Vegas. That's why we did the show early last week on Tuesday because I went on Wednesday. Um, went to Vegas for my birthday. My birthday was Friday, and I went to Vegas at when everything started locking down in April. I went out there for 3.5 days. Tickets were real cheap. I flew there for like $11. I flew back for 17. So and Vegas was weird. I've never seen it like that. I lived there for a long time, and when I went in April, it was fucking eerie as fuck driving down the strip, and there's nobody there. There's cops at the entrances of each resort, so you couldn't go in, shit like that. And then I get there Wednesday night, and it's back to business as usual with the exception of everybody in a mask.
Right.
Planes full, the airport's busy as fuck. Um, but everything was they had implemented some social distancing shit. Like I went up to Red Rock. We got there Wednesday night, got to rent a car, went to Airbnb, unpacked, drove down the strip, went met up with one of my homies, smoked, shit like that. Then next morning go to Red Rock. Went climbed and shit. Uh, showed everybody Red Rock, and then we paid the entrance fee to go into the scenic loop at the national park. And you just get in line. I didn't um yes you can. I didn't go to none of the casinos on the strip. I didn't bother with the strip. I was on Fremont. I walked into one. I did walk into Horseshoe and they were smoking. Some of them on the strip are coming back without smoking. I know the Park MGM, I think, is the biggest one thus far. I think MGM Grand is considering also. But it was business as usual. So instead of just being able to drive into the scenic loop at Red Rock, I had to go online, create an account, and buy a time ticket. So it's a 13-mile stretch loop basically, all in throughout Red Rock. So whatever you buy it at, you got an hour to get into there. You can stay as long as you want basically after you get in there, but if you buy a ticket at 2, you got until 3 to enter the park. So that was a whole new thing that they implemented since COVID. So we did that, and for the most part, it was just a relaxing trip. I don't go to Vegas
Yeah.
like everybody else does. I don't go to gamble and shit like that. When I'm out there, I'm out there. Like I said, I lived there for a long time, so I'm out there doing local shit. You know, but it was a good trip. It was relaxing. I got
Well, just to jump on that real quick, the governor of Nevada,
yes,
Sisolak,
yes. He
uh,
tested positive.
he did,
Yes.
and they announced that new restrictions are anticipated to come in the next couple of days due to the rising cases in Nevada. How that will impact the casinos is remains to be seen.
Yeah, they Indiana, our governor put us back to a phase 2 the other day, and now he put our county in the red zone, Lake County, which is
S-
whatever, like I guess is bad. I mean, I don't think it could be any worse than actually being in Lake County, but it's 25 people, no more than 25 people. If you want more people at a gathering, you got to submit to the local health department for clearance, basically, which means they'll let you have your event, but they're going to send people out to make sure everybody's wearing masks the whole time. It's basically what it is. I think our retails, Walmart and everybody, Walmart, Target, Meyer, grocery stores, shit like that, Home Depot, Menards, all them type places, believe they're at 75% capacity right now. So, and look at California. Just in a couple day difference, 40 counties are now in the purple zone, which is the purple tier in California is the worst tier to be in. So it's the numbers are going up all over the country. And like we were joking before we went live, even though it shouldn't have been a funny joke, but we're assholes. Um, North Dakota and South Dakota. South Dakota, really, South COVID and North COVID, like you rename them. There, it's insane.
so bogus.
But even here in Indiana, if Indiana was it's a separate country, they'd be 35th in the mortality rate. And
Yeah, we were saying if, in terms of mortality, I mean, it's North Dakota, South Dakota, North COVID, South COVID, and the Czech Republic. Worldwide, I mean, and like it's not a good thing that the hot zones keep moving, right? First it was New York, and then it was Wisconsin or Washington, and then it became Florida, and then it was Arizona, and then it was the Midwest. Uh, this sign of failure. But I was going to say, if Indiana's in the red zone, you're a Bears fan, so that means we're not going to score any points on this drive, huh?
bro. We're just we're gonna get picked off in the end zone,
Oh my god!
and they're gonna run it back all the way.
Oh my god!
Actually, our defense and special teams are good.
Yeah, oh my god!
Like
I have enough problems in my life. I don't want to talk about Matt Nagy's play calling, but if Donald Trump, was running the playbook for the Chicago Bears, I'm sure it would look a lot like Matt Nagy's play calling for the last 3 years.
yeah, and it's getting worse. They Montana, the hospitals are overrun. Ventilators are gone. ICU filled up. They're they have workers dying as they're still trying to help other people. They got just a bunch of COVID motherfuckers together in the hospital, blind leading the blind. And I don't see what the I don't see no quick turnaround. I mean, we have two promising vaccines. They're saying, one from Pfizer, which is at what was it at? I think it's at a 94 and some odd fucking percentage of success rate. And then we have one coming from Moderna that's also looking promising too. I
Yep.
haven't I haven't read into that one like I have about Pfizer. Pfizer is an mRNA one, so they're not they're tricking the virus. They're not injecting in you the actual virus itself. And you keep on putting the links in the wrong chat, Eddie.
Yeah, sorry about that.
But yeah, they're tricking the virus. The RNA is what it's doing is tricking your immune system to attacking the virus without infecting you with the virus. Just giving you the RNA of it. So that's cool that they're not just gonna give it to you.
Right.
Here,
Yeah. It's the mRNA instead of a deactivated
yes.
live virus, which is the difference. The hope is to get the genetic code to have your immune system create T cells and antibodies that would recognize the virus genetic code before you get infected to generate those antibodies before you actually run into it. So you basically what you're trying to do is create. So there's T cells which destroy and eliminate virus cells if you have them, and then there's B cells which generate antibodies. You inject both of those into what's called a T helper cell, which is then put into a uh, APC, an antigen presenting cell, which then consumes the proteins of. I'm sorry, I'm going it the wrong way. The APC breaks down into the T helper cells, which breaks down into the T cells and the B cells, which generate antibodies, but also attack any alive virus that they find inside of you. So it's kind of a twofer.
You also learn a lot of stuff here on White Devils podcast. We have Eddie comes in here like a walking encyclopedia and lays out all the facts.
The big difference between the Moderna and the Pfizer vaccines is the Moderna vaccine can ship at much higher temperatures than the Pfizer vaccine. The Pfizer vaccine is not that stable compared to the Moderna vaccine at higher temperatures. So that has big implications for delivering the vaccine to people, especially in the third world and things like that. I think they were saying it had to be shipped at like -70 degrees or something. That's not possible to do very often in places like Africa and stuff. So I think that Moderna one is probably going to be the better of the vaccines.
And
because of the temperatures and the storage temperature.
And look at that, Dolly Parton funded it, and she didn't even know it until they kind of announced it. She found out when everybody else did. She'd just be donating money to Vanderbilt, and then boom.
Yep. Interesting that Trump did not donate any money to Vanderbilt.
Trump ain't. You got to have money to donate some money. Greg, to answer your question, where's the White Devil himself? He will be here momentarily. He had some things to take care of today. But he should be jumping in. He actually said 10 minutes, probably 15 minutes ago. So he's running late. So, but now, yeah, so it's 2 promising vaccines. I mean, I'm not going to get one of the vaccines. I don't even get a flu shot every year. So I'm not going to get a COVID shot. Like I'll take my chances. Really. What about you?
I'm gonna wait and see. I'll probably wait like a month.
You gonna go get stabbed?
Yeah. Get the dog collar.
How the first round turns out in people. Make sure they don't turn into zombies or some shit like that.
Yeah.
And I'm definitely not gonna get a vaccine in 2020. I'm not. No, that's not this year.
You expect that people are gonna continue developing COVID vaccines?
Oh yeah. Why wouldn't they? Especially if it's like these are coming out. These are coming out really quickly, which ain't a big surprise given the companies that are doing it. I mean, you have some of the smartest people in the world developing these vaccines. They just had to have a couple different strains to work with, and now that we're 10 months into this, it's kind of easy to get that. Maybe 3 or 4 different strains I think they're up to now confirmed. But I don't want the first round of anything.
Yeah, the only thing I want the first round of is at the bar.
Yeah, like I'm not updating my computer right away. I'm not updating my phone right away. I'm not
Yeah.
Shit like that. I want to wait till the little bugs work themselves out. And,
yeah.
And if I get it, I get it. I still think I had it in February. I was really sick for 3 weeks, and I didn't think of anything of it until Scarface did his interview with Willie D, documenting how his experience with it was and how it affected him and how bad it was. And I went everything exactly how it happened to Scarface happened to me. The first 24 hours, I vomited and fucking shit everything out of my system that I looked at. If I drank some water, boom, thrown up. Then after 24 hours, it stopped. And then I had a headache for 24 hours. After 24 hours, the headache stopped, and then the fever hit. Excuse me. And then the fever was there for 3 days. And then I didn't lose no sense of smell or taste, but every other symptom I had. And I still didn't even really think about it because of that time of year. I'm like, oh, I got pneumonia or some shit. And then when I listened to,
Well, I remember like early March, because March 13th was when everything shut down. It was a Tuesday. It was officially shut down, but they had sent us home like that Friday before. And I remember like we had parties we had gone to. I mean, I remember going to the bar and right around, Valentine's Day. We were going to parties in January and February. We're talking about the coronavirus, and we're like, "Oh, don't give me any coronas. Like, I don't want to get sick."
like it's some cootie shit.
It was a thing for
Not
sure.
Not
but
taking
it
it
wasn't
seriously
something that I
because
thought
we're
about.
Americans. Americans don't take anything seriously till it's too late.
Right. But you look at the fact that like now it's like you can't even wake up and go throughout the day without thinking about coronavirus, unless you're one of these people who's like really out here. But yeah, I think like how quickly, even from March to April, how quickly that changed.
It changed drastically. It's crazy.
And so like it's crazy to think about the fact that like going to the bar and being like, nah, it'll be fine. Like it wasn't fine. And it was actually like very likely that you could have been putting yourself at risk, not even knowing.
All right.
Not even knowing.
Rich is backstage, so we're gonna be bringing Rich in.
We should stop talking about him.
Yeah, we should stop talking about him right now.
Talking about me.
We should stop talking about you, Rich. How you feeling today?
I don't know, bro. Today's so 2020. I went from a COVID scare to a wake. I don't even know what to make of this day, bro.
Well,
we're here. We're trucking along.
We're here. Speaking of COVID scare,
Greg's been looking for you.
Greg was looking for you.
All the conservatives want to talk to me today, huh? I'm here in Millhouse.
It hasn't been bad enough.
Yeah, speaking of COVID, that's what we're currently talking about right now. We started a show with COVID and how it's basically wreaking chaos across the country. We officially renamed South Dakota, North Dakota, North COVID and South COVID.
Well, I think North Dakota's all right. Which one is the governor? Nome. Her last name's Nome.
Yeah.
That looks real bad, bro. She is like, I'm with all the fuck shit. Like no mask, no nothing.
She's the one who authorized the Sturgis rally. She's the reason why coronavirus is going crazy in the Midwest right now.
That's South Dakota, right?
Yes. Yeah. 250,000 people showed up.
Yeah, bro. She's tweaking hard.
And we were just saying the governor of Nevada just caught COVID, and there are measures in place.
Bro, Chuck Grassley, old ass. He's 89, bro. They gave him the Rona. And I don't know. He might not make it. They're not talking about him. I don't know.
Dianne Feinstein's walking around the Capitol without wearing a mask as well.
Right. Well, she's already dead, so
yeah, vampires can't catch COVID.
Yeah, she's cool. She might have been the bat that exposed the COVID.
Yeah, no wonder you don't see Eric Trump or Jared Kushner catching COVID.
I think cocaine kills it. No, so that explains the Trump boys. I came in firing today, bro. I got a bunch of pent up shit. I'm ready to let loose on whoever. I wanted to do some research and actually have some like good COVID numbers, like state to state type shit. I don't have none of that today, though.
Well,
but I just know if I put on CNN right now, they're going to have a COVID colored map, and the whole United States is going to be either dark red or yellow.
It's gonna be purple, like
I'll tell you this much. Fucking, if Indiana was a country, we'd be 35th in mortality.
What did I text the chat earlier? What is it? North Dakota is leading
Yeah.
the world in the mortality rate, 8.2 per million people.
That is insane.
18.2, sorry, 18.2 per million people. That's the highest mortality rate of any
That's
place on
projection
Earth.
because I know is there even a million people that live in fucking
No, but that's why they got to do the per million because it equals out. You know, when you're comparing a smaller population to a larger population, it makes it kind of level.
Yeah, exactly. You live in a town that's got 15 people and 2 or 3 of them die from COVID. Like, that's a lot compared to like a city where, you know, maybe 10 people die.
Right.
Illinois was 87 or something the other day, 87 deaths, which doesn't seem like a lot, but also think about like how much better we've gotten at treating COVID, and like that's not necessarily a good thing. That just means that everyone's getting infected, and we're getting really good at dealing with not dying.
And our healthcare is better than a lot of states.
Yeah.
Too. Like there's some states where you got to go 150 miles to get to a fucking immediate care, bro.
Yeah.
You know, it's just wild.
And so we said this before, like,
and these are all places that voted for Trump.
And to not expand Medicare. Well, here's what I've said before. We've talked about this. Like, the measure of success cannot be who dies and who doesn't die, or how many ICU beds are available. Like, I understand using that as a metric for success. The real metric for success or failure is the number of infections. Like, people don't have to die because people don't have to be getting infected. So I want to switch topics real quick, or not switch topics, but the Virginia Attorney General is suing because they want this gun rights group wants to hold a gun show, and they want to bring 25,000 people in person to this gun show. So they're suing the state. The Attorney General of Virginia is suing the state of Virginia, which is the AG of, to declare that they have the power to override the governor so that they can authorize this 25,000 person gun show in Virginia. Like,
for a gun show.
Bro,
if that don't scream America, I don't know what does.
Right, we went to the gun shows together. There was not 25,000 people. It was 250 people. I would have been surprised.
But have you been to a gun show in Virginia?
No.
Yeah,
man,
a whole new world.
I don't know what's wrong with these motherfuckers, man.
I just think that like, whatever. Maybe you politics, whatever they may be, like, you really think that's the best use of your time and energy right now is to sue the state that you're the Attorney General of, so you can sell guns to 25,000 people from out of state? Like, what?
Yeah, he ain't even selling them though. He's allowing them to be sold. He ain't got no guns for sale, does he?
Yeah, right. You don't think he's getting a cut? 10% to the big guy?
Actually, he probably is getting something on the back end. I wouldn't be surprised. Like, bro, get this through for us. I'll break you off on the back end. I'll give you 20 grand.
Yeah. Election
gun.
I don't know, man. This country's lost its fucking mind.
Yeah, that's exactly why this week's episode is titled "Welcome to the Shit Show." The last 8 days, like, we started off with COVID. Well, me and Eddie have already touched on the vaccines.
Awesome, that's good work, guys.
Shit like that. You gonna get one?
You know, all right. I actually had someone ask me this today, and I had been giving this some thought. So here's I'm gonna give you my official position on this vaccine. I don't give a fuck what Donald Trump tells me. I don't even give a fuck. I respect Dr. Fauci and all them, but I don't even give a fuck what they tell me. I've got a nephrologist I've been in the trenches with for like 6-7 years now, who I trust implicitly with my life, her and her nurses. If they tell me to take the vaccine, I'm taking the vaccine. I'm not even asking no questions. I'm going to wait for them to tell me. They manage my care. I trust them. And that's what it is. I take all the other vaccines. I take everyone they tell me to.
Okay.
What do you think about this report that came out that the staffers at the Health and Human Services were being told not to work with the Joe Biden team and to contact their bosses if anybody reached out to them?
Yeah.
Unsurprising and dangerous. when you start dabbling with like, okay, you don't want to transition, you don't want to show, you know what I'm saying, the motherfuckers where their desks are at. Okay. When you start playing with health and human services in a fucking in a health crisis, and you start playing with national security shit, like, bro, now you're being a dick for real.
Yeah,
I think.
mean, I think it's more than just like anti-American and like bad for security. Like, I don't think that it's that. I think that they know that they have zero plans on helping to do anything to stop this pandemic. And I think that's what they're trying to cover up. That's what they're trying to avoid showing to the Biden team. Apparently, Donald
Everybody
Trump.
knows they don't got no plan. That ain't no
No, I know,
secret,
but
bro.
apparently
They're
Donald
trying
Trump.
to act like they got something going on, but we all know they ain't on shit. They don't want to do
No,
nothing.
right.
They're not helping nobody.
There's a report that Donald Trump hasn't been to a COVID briefing in 5 months.
5 months.
Which is great because I don't want his ass there anyway. But that's beside the point. The point is, Jared Kushner and what's his name, Mike Pence, and them apparently just go into the room, sit down, pretend they had a meeting, and just leave. And I think that's what is. I think that's what they're trying to hide more than anything is the games, the lack of ability, and probably a whole bunch of crimes that went on. And they're trying to avoid showing that to the Biden team, and they're trying to destroy as much evidence on the way out as possible. That's my guess. And I hate to be critical about it, but
I think
what other conclusion am I supposed to draw based on the way these people have acted over the last 4 years?
I think that the COVID task force takes their job very seriously. I believe in the doctors, and I think Mike Pence isn't even that much of a fool about it. But at the end of the day, you got to answer to Trump, and he's the bottom line, bro. And he don't care. He wants the economy revving so he can get fucking reelected. He don't give a fuck about COVID. He don't give a fuck about your life. Tapping in from Morocco, poor Trumpy. You're goddamn right. Fucking poor Trumpy. Get the fuck out. I don't know, man. What do you expect? You know, you could have all this good shit going, all these great plans, good information, great teams, and you bring it to the guy that's the decision maker and he's fucking playing with a yo-yo. You know what I'm saying? He's on his phone watching porn. Like, oh, I'm sorry, what, you're briefing me? Hold on. I'm going to watch this money shot. You know, like, he don't give a fuck about none of this. So it's just, they might have been trying hard. I won't sit here and say they didn't give no effort, but it's just all for naught. It's just all for naught.
Do you think that here's what's frustrating for me in that whole scenario? Trump comes out and says like, oh, they didn't leave us any ventilators. They left us a playbook for a pandemic based on Ebola, but it was a bad playbook. All these things, like, bro, you were in charge for the last 3 years. Even if, like, here's the thing that drives me nuts. Like, the Trump presidency, the economic success of the Trump presidency comes from Joe Biden and Barack Obama.
It is. Bro, Eddie, let me tell you something. Let me just tell you something real quick, bro. I have been telling Trumpsters for 5 years to show me an economic chart that displays the Trump spike. Any of them. They can't do it. It doesn't exist. Dude, they're on Obama's back. So let me get out your way now. I just wanted to...
The only Trump spike I would call definitive Trump spike was the day after the election when the stocks went skyrocketing. Because of the fact that the business community knew that they were going to get everything they wanted out of him, because he doesn't give a fuck about regulations or anything like that. It's all about the bottom line.
Right.
So yeah, there is some Trump benefit to the economy for sure. But you're right that all of it was from the Biden-Obama administration. Specifically, they rescued Detroit in 2008. Why do you think they voted for him in 2020 for
right.
Biden? But like, and this was a move that the Republicans didn't want him to do. You remember that?
Yeah, they wanted to. They said free market, let it fall.
Free market, let it crash. Like we can't bail out the auto industry, but we got to bail out the banking industry. But it's interesting that there's a dynamic here, right? Like Trump only cares about the economy, and it was going well, but it was because of Trump, because of Biden and Obama. But at the same time, he's blaming his inability to respond to the pandemic on Obama and Biden. Like, bro, if the economy is cruising, what else? You know what you can do for the next 3 years? Work on this pandemic response, even if it's no pandemic comes in the next
How
4
about
years.
you don't dismantle the team?
Right.
Can we start there? How about you at least let the people that are in charge of this shit keep their jobs?
Yeah, that would have been the minimum. But so I just think it's interesting, this dynamic of like, well, the pandemic is Obama's fault, but the economy is Trump's success. Like those cannot be true at the same time unless you're a Trump supporter.
Dude, there's a ton of Trump paradoxes out there, though. He just takes credit for what helps him, and he blames everybody else for what doesn't. And it
No.
doesn't matter what it is.
Look,
And yes, he destroyed a lot. We were the laughing stock of the world for 4 years. I think a lot of people internationally are happy to see Trump go. And drew the GDP numbers. Well, you know what? I got to give Trump a little bit of credit. After a historically terrible second quarter, he had a really nice rebound third quarter. But I want to see what the fourth quarter and the first quarter of next year look like. I'm interested to see what COVID does versus holiday spending. And then I want to see what happens in the first quarter of 2021 because we're not done with COVID yet.
There is no way that our fourth quarter numbers are going to match for Christmas this year what they were last year. There's no way.
If we're going back into lockdown.
So when we think about it, who killed Christmas? Was it the Democrats or was it Trump? Because we can't have Christmas and we can't have Thanksgiving because of the pandemic.
Well,
yeah.
So his legacy will be the person who got Christmas and Thanksgiving canceled. So I think when you look at the GDP numbers for this year, particularly in quarter four, it's going to be ridiculous. And the other side of it is like, okay, well, the economy is recovering, but is it though? Because I know a lot of rich people who got really, really rich, and I know a lot of poor people who got really, really poor.
I was just talking about this with a friend.
Recovering kind of negates the fact that how many people have lost their jobs. Women in particular have lost their jobs.
It became such a have and have not situation, bro. There's people that made a lot of money in this COVID, and then there's people in bread lines at the same time. Yep. It's crazy.
And if you're really smart, you take that extra money and you still go to the bread lines and get you some free food. But no, I think it's ridiculous that we look at this economy, right? And we're like, oh, look at these people who lost their jobs, but they're coming back to their jobs. That's not what it was. Think about how many people were working 1099 jobs, multiple, 25, 30-hour work weeks, positions. The employment numbers have been played with by politicians on both sides of the aisle for far too long. And the economy post 2008 that Paul Krugman calls the new normal of underemployment or not getting the full benefits never reached what it was in 2008. And now we've got the second wave of financial crisis. And we are going to be lucky if we even get back to pre-2020 numbers of underemployment, of chronic underemployment. And I think that when you talk about like, oh, well, people are spending money again. Yeah, people are spending money again. But where is that money coming from? And what kind of shift in labor relations in America happened in this last year? I mean, just look at California with the Prop 81. Was it?
Yep.
Like that was a huge issue that got completely lost in this election coverage. It's all this Trump stuff, and that is probably one of the biggest.
That failed, right?
That's going to be had for the next century because of.
Did that fail? That failed?
Yeah, it failed because of Lyft and Uber, and so, what does that actually mean? Oh, we're recovering the economy. Well, we're not though. Because there was a good economy to begin with.
You know what, Ed? I want to kind of take a quick turn with you guys. Let's go back before COVID. Let's talk about the Trump economy at its peak. An economy that saw CEOs hoarding huge sums of cash. An economy where there was tons of jobs, part-time, people working 2-3 jobs to get by, an old economy full of dusty industries that should have been put to bed a long time ago, an economy without any innovation, an economy that wasn't forward thinking, an economy that saw more wealth disparity than you could shake a fucking stick at. You want to talk about haves and have-nots and trickle down, not trickling down shit? That was the Trump economy. Yes, it almost created the world's first trillionaire. But all we got were a few measly crumbs. And you know what? Our tax breaks end. There's an expiration date, but not for the Waltons, not for the fucking Bezos. That's the Trump economy. They get to just eat and eat and eat, and you get a little something. You get to work harder than your family has ever worked for less than it's probably gotten.
$1,200. That's all you get.
Yeah, I wouldn't even talk about the stimulus. Yeah, and then your big reward is a measly $1,200, and a fucking not even a courtesy reach around from the U.S. government. And before anybody jumps out here and talk about, well, I don't want no government handouts. It's your money, you fucking idiot. It's your tax dollars. You're entitled to it. I hate, bro, since you guys went there. Well, hold on, Joe. Let me make my point, and we'll get back to that.
All of it.
Now I forgot my point. I guess if you're going to forgive loans, forgive fucking loans. I don't know. Why would you do that in a half measure? You know, I mean, are you really? I mean, if you did 10%, are you really creating relief? I don't. How much would you have to deduct from it? What percentage to make it actual legitimate relief? Half?
I owe 18, so I need at least 20,000 to be forgiven.
But we're talking percentages.
Percentage?
How much before you feel like, okay, this is manageable? This changes my life now that this is gone. Half? More?
I would say half. For me, for sure.
Right.
But
so if they just knock 9 G's off your shit, you would feel like something good happened.
Yeah, there's people who owe 100,000 for medical school though. Like I don't believe.
Right. Well, they knocked 50.
I don't believe in paying for school at all, taking student loans for school at all. Like, why is there a government entity called Nelnet that borrowed money at 0% from the government, turned around and gave it to me at 9%, and now I have to pay them back every month, and I can't discharge my loans because, again, this financial crisis is 2008. Like, why is that a thing at all? How is that a thing? If you want to improve yourself, if you want to go become an electrician, or you want to learn French, or you want to learn how to cook, go do it. Government should want more people to learn French and people to cook healthy meals and to go learn. Like, what if I want to go take math class right now just so I can make sure my math skills are still sharp? Like, why do I have to pay for that? There's no benefit to lending people money out at predatory rates and then forcing them to pay back to you, and then, oh, like you said, here are your crumbs, let me give you back like 5% off. Like, what? No. Just
aside,
the largest rise in tuition in the last 30 years is not the tuition. It's all these extra buildings, all of these facilities. Look at Alabama, for example. Look at their football locker rooms are nicer than the NFL locker rooms. Who do you think is paying for that? I mean, I know that Alabama has got a big booster program, but
they're generating that TV deals and all that. They're generating a lot of money for that school.
The money that's being spent is not on tuition. It's being spent on extra administrators, extra building. These people make, $100,000, and you hire 5, 6, 7 of them a year. And that's what causes tuition rates to rise, and then kids have to take money out. Like, what is new about education in America in the last 30 years that requires 5, 6, 7 times the administrators that they had in the 70s? And if it's that costly and if it's that important, then nationalize it. It's the same argument with the health industry. If it's that important to America, if it's that important as a core function of American society, nationalize it. Nationalize it. It belongs to all of us. It touches all of our lives. The United States government, by definition, should be in charge of it. That's how you create economies of scale. That's how you're able to have Congress negotiate with Medicare in blocks to lower the price of prescriptions. Like that is the function of government.
Right.
And so when we allow these market forces to impact the average American in dangerous ways, where people are killing themselves over medical debt and stuff like that, like the debt is not that important. The thing that matters most is the American life and how to make it easier. That's what the government's job is.
Yeah.
Who
Well,
gets to go to Harvard? Joe says, who gets to go to Harvard? Whoever can get in. Harvard has their admission rates. You don't have to go to Harvard to get a good education.
yeah. I mean, not every really smart person gets into Harvard now. So I don't know why that would change.
Most of the people who get into Harvard are people whose parents or grandparents have already gone to Harvard, or they
Yeah.
get in there on these fake, bogus academic scholarships, talking about, one-legged track and field events. I'm the only person in the country, so they get in automatically. The Ivy League system is not a meritus system. It's a system designed to create an internal class, right? Like if you look at the history of Harvard specifically, in the 1800s or in the 19th century, became it became its own system. It basically in Massachusetts, if you were in any sort of high society, whether you were a governor, a lawyer, a doctor, any leading intellectual or professional, you had to go to Harvard to get any stature in Massachusetts, and vice versa. You graduate out of Harvard, you automatically had to co-sign. And so what you see is that the governors and everyone in Massachusetts were all Harvard alumni, which at the same time that this is happening, the student base of Harvard is becoming very wealthy, and the teachers in Harvard are also becoming very wealthy, to the point where if you owed money to anyone, if you weren't rich, you would lose your job at Harvard. It has nothing to do with your ability to be a teacher. So you see how these class systems become codified, and it's gross. But whatever, let Harvard do their thing.
It's like a country club.
Yeah. So what?
Yeah.
I don't need to go to Harvard. I don't know if you guys have heard, but Cornell, Big Red, they're also an Ivy League school. Or you can go to Brown. You can go University of Illinois. You can go to University of Champaign-Urbana. Has a great engineering program.
Right. There's plenty of good schools. I just don't understand why, as a society, we're making school less desirable, why we're making it more difficult. Like, why are we embracing like a dumber society, a less informed society? Like you would think you would make college easier, more affordable, more accessible. Instead, we're playing like a class war with it. And I don't understand that. Like, well, I understand, I guess, if you're a power hungry fuck and you don't want to share that with other people, then I get it. But if you're really in it for what makes the best overall society, it's more education. It should be pushed. It should be just, I don't know.
Joe says, what kind of government funding do these high-end universities get? They get lots of government funding. They get all sorts of grants from the Department of Defense. They get all sorts of the intellectuals of other countries all want to go to Harvard, so the government helps provide money to get them in. They do all sorts of stuff.
They find money all over the place, man. They got people tossing bread at them left and right.
I mean, look at the University of Chicago. The University of Chicago is a private institution, right? A private school. They also get a lot of money from the federal government, but they are the third largest police force in all of America. They're almost as big as New York City and LAPD. They're only behind like LAPD, New York City, and like Chicago police. They're like the fourth or the fifth. That's ridiculous that a school would need that many private security officers, but they're
Oh,
also
they're
they're literally they're police officers. They have the same enforcement as anyone else. That's ridiculous that that level of money is being spent just to secure the campus. That we've been to Hyde Park. We all know what Hyde Park looks like. It is not that dangerous. Like, stop it.
no, but they're still in the on the south side, so I can't. I
But
don't think I can fault
question,
them.
back to your point, Rich, is Ronald Reagan is the devil. Ronald Reagan is the one who pushed this starve the beast mentality of we're going to. It's what they did to the postal service. They
Reaganomics.
they
Been waiting for that
changed
tripping
the
out.
rules. They changed the rules of the postal system, so you have to fund your pension 75 years in advance within a 10-year frame. So then,
Right.
on paper, it looks like they're in the red, and because of it, you're like, oh, you're losing money. I'm going to cut your services, and I'm
Right.
going to outsource it to USPS or FedEx or whoever. It's an intentional policy to force financial crisis onto these organizations or departments or government institutions as a way of
Yeah.
legitimizing the emergency.
To make them go insolvent, sell them for parts.
So much fat to cut out or reallocate. Yeah, and that's the other problem too, is the institution of American democracy, right? Like, if you work at like Halliburton or HP or any big company, Apple, if you work on the procurement side, what you want to do is you want to have a factory in every district, at least in every 50 states of America. So you can go to every single congressman and say, hey, those 10 jobs we have in your district, you raise that, you pay that, you go for that tax bill, you're gonna lose those jobs, and then you're gonna lose your job. It's a complete hostage situation, but it's designed that way because every body is constantly trying to get reelected, and so that is the method of the God, what am I talking about? The prison industrial complex. That is the nature of the prison industrial complex that was warned about after World War II by Eisenhower. He said, like, you have to be careful for this because it's going to take over the country. And he said that in the sense, not as a precaution. He said it as an apology. He was the one who created the industrial arms race in America in World War II that became the arms race, the Soviet arms race in the 60s. He knew what he had done. And so he said it, he meant it as an apology, but being that he was on his way out, the term, he was saying it in the sense of, like, you have to watch out for this future tense, which is complete horseshit. But that is the nature of building in America in 2020. Our manufacturing base doesn't exist, but the manufacturing base that does exist is a manufacturing base that holds the politicians hostage, so that they have to continue subsidizing them and giving them government contracts and tax breaks and all these things, because nobody wants to be the guy who loses, the blue collar workforce. That's not good for your political ads, regardless of which side of the aisle you're on.
Welcome to the shit show.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he just started kind of touching into corporate welfare, and that shit drives me nuts too, man. We give these fucking big businesses these tax breaks, and then they don't even pay these their employees a fucking full wage. Dude, there's Walmarts in America that have Social Security offices in the stores. Like, you just get hired and they send you right in there, and you fucking get your partial benefits. It's wild, man. It drives me fucking nuts.
Yeah, that's socialism right there.
It is. It's corporate socialism on a much bigger scale. But people don't even believe you when you tell them. And then, like you were talking about the military-industrial complex, bro.
Yeah.
There's whole towns that got these fucking companies that are producing like these planes that don't fly. and we're giving them like billions a year, but they won't stop paying them because they'll lose fucking jobs.
Yep. I mean,
It's,
it's the same
it's
thing with the F-35, right? You spend $14 trillion or whatever. You might as well finish the plane.
can we get a finished plane?
I mean, you might as well, right?
What was the one plane they bought?
Yeah.
There was one plane I remember reading about like a year ago, bro. We bought a bunch of them and like they had no bombs. You couldn't put the bombs in there or some shit. It was like ridiculous. No,
Well,
you got bombers that don't have
Well,
bombs.
I don't know if you heard, but when Trump took over the military, they had no ammo. It's completely, they couldn't shoot.
They couldn't shoot. The gang that couldn't shoot straight.
That like
Okay, all right, wait. Can we since you said that, can we talk about the gang that couldn't shoot straight and talk a little bit about these court cases, if you can call them that?
hey, he got a worse record. He got a worse record than LeBron.
Right.
Hey, that was a nice segue, Ed. Yeah. You want to talk about Rudy? Talk about Rudy.
Yeah.
So Rudy, I don't know if you guys know, every time he makes these motions in court or in these hotel rooms, he makes all these movements, and they always backfire on him. I don't know why. I'm starting to think it's a Rudy Giuliani thing. So, you know, as we've talked about, there's all these cases, these garbage cases. As one tweet that I read said, a filing without any evidence, any documentary evidence of fraud is just a tweet with a filing fee, right? Like you can sue anyone for anything.
Yeah. Just,
But as Rob said, 1 for 25. I mean, I wouldn't even say he's doing worse than LeBron. Like who? I'm thinking like maybe Charlie Brown actually kicked that football once or twice. But I'm trying to think of like what other sports equivalent would be for being 1 in 25. Oh, you know what? Maria Sharapova versus what's her name?
well, he's doing better than the Buffalo Bills did in their
right. But anyway, so Pennsylvania, they've flat out told the judge, we have found 2 voters that did not get to vote, even though they wanted to. And because of this, we want to throw out 7 million or almost 7 million, 6.8 million ballots in Philadelphia. The fact that these 2 voters were in different counties and have nothing at all to do with Philadelphia. So that got thrown out. They got thrown out after Rudy Giuliani specifically wrote in the documents to court, we are not alleging any fraud. Period.
Look at Rudy fucking ruining his whole legacy of how America looked at him through this.
Bro, a lot of people for Donald Trump. A lot of people are just throwing all their shit out the window.
Crazy.
Like, I don't get it. It ain't worth all that, man. It ain't that important. I don't know, man.
And
it's just a job.
In Wisconsin, the board of Wayne County voted along party lines.
Michigan.
I'm sorry. Yeah. They voted along party lines to not certify, they deadlocked on certification. 2 Democrats voted to certify, and the 2 Republicans voted not to certify, specifically wanting to certify the results after throwing out all of Detroit's votes, which of course would mean that Trump won Michigan, which is really, really stupid because like, you win Michigan, but you still lost Pennsylvania by 500,000, so it's over anyway. Like, what's the point? But there was a massive outcry, and then Donald Trump tweeted, "Congratulations to the state of Michigan, standing up for themselves. Long live the USA," or something equally stupid. The problem was there was a massive outcry. And people started calling the Board of Elections. I mean, it was just not good for them. And they backtracked very quickly because nobody wanted to be the person who who is going to steal the election for Donald Trump.
Yeah.
I mean, you can
And
try
I gotta
to
squeeze something in here.
hit the blue wall.
You Republicans better chill the fuck out, man. Like, you got real close to doing some real foul shit in Wayne County. Luckily, you came to your senses at the last second. But if you start flipping legitimate votes, that's going to take us to a real bad place in this country.
Yeah.
Real bad. Like,
Right.
y'all better chill out on that shit. If you could prove that there's fraudulent votes, prove that shit. If you fucking find some other votes that are real votes that are for Donald Trump, prove that shit. But you just start taking shit and doing what you want to do, man, don't get put on a meme.
Yeah.
Don't get put on a t-shirt. Y'all, come on. Let's keep it respectable here. We don't need to cross that line. We're just gonna start taking shit. Like, are we gonna work together within the system and figure this shit out, or are we just gonna start taking shit?
Yep, exactly. And look, we're 2.5 weeks past the election. If there was fraud or votes to be found, it would have been found already. Georgia already finished their recount.
Joe Biden won this election. And that's what they need to just come to terms with.
Georgia finished their recount. They found an extra 2,500 votes. Most of them were for Trump. Guess what? He still lost.
Did they really find a 2,500 votes? I didn't hear that.
Like 2,400 or something, and I think it was like 85 or 75 Trump to Biden.
Where were they?
I don't know. That's a great question. See, like, that's what I wish I would know. Because don't get me wrong, like, that is an important thing to find. Like, I would love to know that.
But it didn't flip the shit.
Like 2,400 votes were suddenly found. 2.5 weeks after the election. Like, yeah, we should probably be a little bit closer than that, but it did not change anything substantially. Trump's lead in Michigan is, I believe, 13 or 14 times.
What Trump won with in 2016. Yeah.
So, I mean, what's the point? Like, you really think you're going to, if it was possible to turn over that amount of votes, you don't think Hillary Clinton would have tried it in 2016?
What the fuck is Lindsey Graham doing?
Hold on.
Even less, only about 800 vote difference in Trump's favor. See?
You gotta put that link in the chat, Eddie, not in the phone.
All right.
Why is Lindsey Graham calling the AG or the Secretary of States in Nevada, Georgia, and I think it was Arizona? And he told that the Arizona Secretary of State, if you find one bad vote, toss the whole county.
Yep.
For real? That's what you're on, Lindsey?
Yeah, of course.
And then the dude said that shit publicly, and Lindsey came back like, "Oh, he misunderstood me." Like, you're a fucking pussy, dude. What a fucking coward, bro. Lindsey Graham is I would bitch slap the life out that motherfucker. Unbelievable. Like, I'm so tired of his bullshit, bro. What a coward. He hated Trump.
He fist bumped Kamala the other day.
Lindsey did?
Yeah.
He's jealous.
I hope she fucking dissed him.
So, the thing about Lindsey Graham is that he's a lawyer. Oh, here we go. Pull this up.
Wait,
yeah, I thought this was a really succinct.
I got to open it up. This one.
Sure. The thing about Lindsey Graham is he's a lawyer, bro. Like, you can't.
All right, hold
even if it's not quote unquote illegal.
Automatically. So,
yeah. Just let it play through, and then full screen, and then we'll replay it. Like, even if it's not quote unquote,
Attorney General have already.
It's definitely doesn't look good, and for somebody who allegedly cares so much about the institutions of democracy, he's very much not acting like it.
Yeah.
Well, duh.
Duh.
He gave it all up for Trump, bro.
Yeah. Here we go. I thought this was a good one. Check this out.
So who is this, Eddie?
This is Ned Stabler. He's a member of the canvassers of the Wayne County Board. So he's one of these people is officially tasked with helping, implement the election.
All right. Give you guys a listen. Watch it.
We also know that the Secretary of State and the Attorney General have already tweeted out that your legal arguments are rubbish and you're going to lose when it comes to court. So we're not worried about that at all. I'm also not worried about any of your, things are bad so we can't certify arguments, because that's just ridiculous. You certified in August when they were worse. Less than 50% of the ballots are recountable. Now over 72% are. 58% of them are even balanced when it was less than 30% last time. So it's doubled. It's gotten way better because the Secretary of State actually jumped in and did her job, unlike you. But I know it's not going to change your opinion. You talked about not certifying Detroit, even though you acknowledged that Livonia, a city, by the way, I know you know is 95% white, had bigger variances than Detroit, which is 80% black. We understand, and you've now added your name. So I'm not going to try to change your mind. I just want to let you know that the Trump stink, the stain of racism that you, William Hartman, and Monica Palmer have just covered yourself in is going to follow you throughout history. Your grandchildren are going to think of you like Bull Connor or George Wallace. Monica Palmer and William Hartman will forever be known in southeastern Michigan as two racists who did something so unprecedented that they disenfranchised hundreds of thousands of black voters in the city of Detroit because they were ordered to. Probably, I know, Monica, you think Q told you to do it or some other crazy stuff like that. But just know when you try to sleep tonight, that millions of people around the world now on Twitter know the name Monica Palmer and William Hartman as two people completely racist and without an understanding of what integrity means or a shred of human decency. The law isn't on your side, history won't be on your side, your conscience will not be on your side, and Lord knows, when you go to meet your maker, your soul is going to be very, very warm.
Well, shit.
Thank you.
Yeah, you got right. God damn.
Yeah, I believe that's what the kids call going in.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. He went off. He went off. Shots fired. But yeah, this is the chaos that we've been living in for the last 2 weeks since the election.
So CNN's reporting that we just went over 250,000 coronavirus deaths.
Yeah, I seen that a little bit ago.
You said 300,000?
250,000.
50.
Quarter mil.
Hey, I said earlier, maybe our first or second episode, and I said it on the Danger Zone too with me and L. Brown. It's gonna get worse before it gets better, and we still have winter coming up. So I still don't think that we've seen the worst of it.
Definitely not.
Yippee!
Like I said, Indiana is that the governor sent us back to a phase 2 out of the 5 phases, and then Lake County, which the studio is in, we're in the red. We're in the red zone. And we're down to no more than 25 people at public gatherings, or you have to get approval by the health department. So we got a curfew. 12 o'clock is midnight. Everything got closed by midnight. Corona don't come out after midnight. They got to go to sleep too.
Yep.
So we're right back to doing all the other shit that we already kind of been through. How Illinois is pretty locked down now too. You guys are all over. You guys back totally locked down or what?
I don't know, man. I mean, they're trying to roll us back, but I don't think half these motherfuckers are even listening. I'm sure Eddie's seeing more discipline in the city than I am in the suburbs. There's definitely some places out here that just do the middle finger to Pritzker, and they're just doing it. No mask, no social distance. They don't give a fuck. Like, come catch me.
Everybody was masked up, everywhere I went. Out here, it's depends what city you're in. Gary don't really fucking matter. Yeah, it's you walk in with with or without a mask, nobody's gonna say anything to you. Over by my house, I basically wait to see if anybody, if somebody comes out as I'm parking, they don't have a mask on. I don't put mine on. If somebody comes out with a mask, I'll put mine on.
I've done that a couple times, bro. I was at a wedding, and it said to have a mask on, so I had a mask on, and I'm looking at all these people come in, and no one else had a mask on. And I was like, "Well, fuck you, motherfuckers!" I took my shit off and started coughing and shit.
So I get to last Wednesday. I get to O'Hare. I get out of the car. I get my backpack out, put my backpack on. I grab my suitcase out the car, and I start wheeling it in. I wheel it in. We're standing in line. We're moving around. I get to the little screen to print out my bag tag and all that good shit. And I realized like 5 to 7 minutes after we've been inside the airport that I don't have my mask on. And not one person anywhere. And O'Hare's busy. Like it's busting. Like there's people there. Nobody says shit to me. Nobody's looking at me. Nothing. Everybody's just going about their day. Crazy.
Motherfuckers play about this shit, man.
You know what's interesting about that, Rich, that you mentioned about Chicago. I actually don't know about Chicago because I don't leave my house.
Oh.
Well, you're doing a lot better discipline-wise than a lot of people who live out this way. I live out by Joliet, bro.
Yeah.
And it's like Truplandia. You know what I'm saying? And these motherfuckers are just like, whatever. I don't know. Like, there's a lot of the restaurants shut down the indoor dining. And some of the bars closed, but a lot of places just said fuck Pritzker and stayed open. And I won't go in them places, bro, because it's just dicey in there. It just all looks like a super spreader event to me, especially the bars.
Yep. I don't I like drinking at the bar. Don't get me wrong, but
it's not worth that.
Is it worth it? And honestly, like now that I think about it, it's not going to be worth it next year. Like from a financial perspective, I save so much money not going to the bar. Like I can't even justify doing it going forward.
Bro, it's been a lot of change this year. This year, bro, when we get to 2021, when you look back to 2019, it's like a whole different world.
Whole different world, and I don't like it. But I mean, I don't know. It's not like you can take it back. So it is what it is.
Yeah, I'm not worried about liking, disliking. I'm just trying to roll with it, make the most of it.
In other news, we were talking about this the past 2 weeks. We mentioned it, but today it was confirmed. She will be back.
Geez, nuts.
As House Speaker.
Final term.
Yes.
Like I said, man, like
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
as long as they got Mitch, there's no one else I trust in the party to battle him more than Nancy.
Yeah, we were talking about that too.
Yeah. I would rather see us go a different direction than Nancy, but whoever that is, Mitch is going to eat them up. Mitch is too slick, bro. You got to combat Mitch.
Exactly. So Nancy's back. Mitch is gonna. He's probably pissed off. You knew better. They weren't gonna elect anybody else.
She's a beast, bro.
Yeah.
I don't always agree with her, and Lord knows she's old as shit, but she's a beast.
Let's see what happens. Biden's getting intel briefings, but not from somebody in the government.
Nah, from some other motherfuckers. At least he's doing it in the open, so it's like, Eddie, you said in the chat, we're like, what does that even mean?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying, at least like he had it like it was on camera. He had all the people fucking on the screen. He was doing it virtually.
I guess he's getting into parts from like MI6 or something because he's not getting it from the American government.
I think they're like private contractors and probably ex-government people. I think.
Something like that.
I'm not 100% sure, but at least I like that he did it in a transparent way. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, I guess.
Well,
I
I mean, you know, he could be talking to goddamn, I don't know. What if it was like the Chinese? Like that shit would be, and he was trying to keep it a
no.
secret. That would be terrible.
But
That would look
it
awful.
can't be any more transparent than Donald Trump talking about North Koreans blowing off ICBMs in front of the Chinese at Mar-a-Lago. He definitely did that.
We're in all, yeah. Anyway, we're we have a president elect, even though in any comments that you see on any news source as you're scrolling down Facebook, there's some
Or Parlor. They're
Uh,
mostly on Parlor now.
yeah, like it's as I scroll down, it's hilarious. And there's this one guy, and he got a top fan badge and everything. He's like, "But Trump won. It's gonna be reversed. Just wait 2 weeks. 2 weeks. 2 weeks." Yeah,
Hey, can I make a point real quick before we move on?
yeah.
Or not, I mean, just to kind of tag along to what you were just saying with the social media. There's a little something, or maybe I was saying it, I guess, about Parlor, but the defection off of Facebook. But
Yes.
there's been a couple additional things that I've noticed. There's a dude that I know from out here who was a social media influencer. He had like 6 million followers, and he was actually kind of popping even before Trump, but he jumped hard on the Trump shit, and he rode it the fuck out. And they just wiped his account, bro, the other day. Okay, so then another one of my Facebook friends said that she was listening to Toby Keith, like the Red, White, and Blue is like the Angry American, some country song. Clearly, it sounds like a big hit to those type of people. So she was just trying to put the activity on Facebook that she was doing it, and it wouldn't let her post it. And I came across this, and I was like, "Stop it! Like, what is this?" I was like, "Your internet's probably fucked up." So I was like, "You know what? I'm gonna post it, and then I'm gonna tag her in it just to show her that you can." And I did it, and it didn't fucking post, bro. You can't post that shit, and that's all. That's all fucking right wing shit. That's country music. That's fucking
No, you can't post
pro
anything.
Trump shit.
Yeah, like they'll flag you. Like they have when
They
you
won't even let you post it. It's not even a flag. It says like, "Oops, something went wrong."
Yeah, like any day.
Zuck ain't playing, bro. I think he's wiping out the right off of Facebook, man. He's like, "Fuck these motherfuckers."
They're doing it with a lot of music type shit. Anything that plays music in the background, they can scan whether it's copyrighted or not.
I don't know, man. I feel like they're taking no, but they weren't playing the music. It was like literally just put like, "I am listening to this song,"
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's weird.
and they wouldn't let it post.
Hey,
It wasn't a link.
That's crazy.
Bro, Zuck's had it with the right. I think they're out of there, bro. I really think he's taking it to him. He's done.
Fuck it.
I can't. I don't know if I
How's
agree
it
with
feel?
it, but I can't. Yeah,
feel?
I can't blame him.
Yeah, how's it feel? Basically, it comes out.
He's like, "Oh, you want to go to Parlor? Bye,
Bye.
bye."
And what's he's just gonna buy Parlor.
That would be funny. That would be funny as fuck. And then take all their social security numbers, because you gotta put your social security number in there to start an account.
Oh what the
Yeah,
fuck?
and your license.
Yeah.
You need to like upload your passport picture and everything.
They're tripping, bro.
There are same people that be talking about government overreach and facial recognition bullshit.
Bro, it will never. The irony will never escape me that the people that clutch guns to stop a tyrannical government openly ushered in a tyrannical government. It's just like, bro, what happened? I don't know.
And not just that, like enthusiastically, like, you want me to suck your dick? How many inches? Like, it was very much like whatever you want, whatever Trump says.
Yeah,
Because
man.
like, Trumpism is Trump. I am the state. That's basically his model of governing.
That's where I gotta give him some credit, bro. He made them bow to him. Like and they still do. It's unreal, bro. He broke Lindsey Graham. He broke Ted Cruz. He told Ted Cruz his daddy killed JFK.
Ted Cruz, Ted Cruz, if you're watching the live stream, I know we've got a couple people on here. I know Ted likes to lurk from time to time. Ted Cruz, if you're watching this right now, it is okay for you to continue to start defending your wife again. It's okay.
Bro, Trump treated him, and he loves some Trump. He loves some Trump. Please, Massa, may I have another? You fucking bootlickers. Jesus Christ. It's disgusting, bro. Stand for something. Don't be a pussy punk bitch your whole life. That's how you want to go down in American history, as a pussy punk bitch to Donald Trump? Donald Trump was a pussy punk bitch. He don't got no stomach for war. And I bet if you punch him in the face, he'd start crying. That motherfucker ain't never been in a fist fight in his life. He ain't tough. He's a fucking jerk off. I'm sorry. I just spun off into a rant.
Hey,
it felt good, though.
It matches the shit show that this week has been.
Yeah, man. We got some demons to purge, y'all. We got to get it out right here, right now.
And I mean, come on. We got a short time left in 2020, so let's get it all out now. Let's start the new year fresh and
new energies, man. This country needs some new energy.
fuck. Like the old thing goes, it's like as if America was built on top of ancient burial ground.
Almost.
Oh, is that what they say?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you just gave us the plot for Poltergeist. But that wasn't America, so maybe that's validation.
Yeah. But we're at the same point where we were at last week. Trump still being a child. Oh, he's on a firing spree too.
He just fired the head of CISA, which was
so
he just put the Three Stooges as the head of the Pentagon.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Biden's hands are.
I am telling you, they're trying to hide what they did. That's what all of these firings are about. This is not about Trump's mad he lost the election. No, he's trying to disclassify as many things as possible to hurt America before he can, and he's trying to hide as much evidence of his crimes.
Bro, I mean, that shit is something. It'll come to light if it's there.
Hey, this guy said it was the most secure election ever, and Trump said, "You're fired."
Yeah, bro. Was that Krebs? Is it Krebs or Klebs?
Oh my God, bro!
I'm not sure how it's pronounced. His first name is Chris, though.
I think it's Chris Klebs. Yeah, man. He's like, this. We did such a great job, and they canned him. And you know what? They called it on CNN. They're like, we'll expect him to be fired the next couple hours. And the next couple hours, they fucking fired his ass, bro. Like, it was just like, fuck you. Oh, it's so funny.
Bro.
He knew he was going to get canned for saying that. He didn't give a fuck. That's what I'm talking about. I want to see more of that.
Well, he's going to do, oh, come on. He's going to make everything hard for Biden to undo. He's going to try to go to the extreme on everything. In this last fucking how many ever days we got of him.
What have I been saying on here, bro? Like, why does he got to make everything its ugliest version? Everything he's a part of ends up being the ugliest version of itself. And now this is the election, bro. It's the absolute ugliest iteration out there, in my lifetime for sure.
Yeah, I mean. It's exhausting. I can't wait till it's all over. I can't wait till we could be on here talking shit about what Biden's doing. You know, it's just like it's like Groundhog Day. That like every day's some new bullshit.
Yeah, well, you know what? That's kind of important too, and I've been feeling that too. But it's we've been stuck, bro. We've been stuck in this moment for like 2 weeks now, and it's like being in political purgatory. Like. You know, Trump won't concede, and I don't think he's even fucking really doing anything anymore. Is he even presidenting?
I don't think
other than firing people.
I don't think he's presidenting since he hit the campaign trail.
Yeah, but
when did he ever president? Well, I'm still waiting on Infrastructure Week.
Yeah, the new healthcare
Infrastructure
coming in
week.
2 weeks.
Man, I hope Biden brings that to us. I really do. I would love to sit here and talk about infrastructure.
Hey, we might get lucky. You never know.
I mean, it depends on the Senate, man. We gotta start pushing this runoff, man. Do we got any Georgia peeps? Anybody from Georgia, man, tap in.
Okay, who do you really think is going to win Georgia? Like,
I think they're gonna.
I'm completely cynical on this one. I'm sorry, Georgia. I want Warnick to win. I think Lawfer is insane. These people down there in Georgia, Doug Jones among them, are equally terrible. I mean, George Kemp, terrible. Their Secretary of State, terrible. But
Yeah, Brian Kemp.
all of that, I don't think it matters. I think that it doesn't matter because I don't trust Georgia voters. I don't trust the Democrats enough.
Well, I love what Stacey Abrams has been doing down there with voter turnout. 800,000 new registered voters. That's a big deal. I mean, is it an uphill battle? Sure. But it's for 2 years control of the Senate. I mean, I can't sit here and guarantee a victory, but I definitely think we should fucking fight that fight. I definitely think it's worth fighting.
Yeah, I think it is too.
You know, I think we get out in front of it early and push it hard to everybody who's listening. If we can, I don't know. Hopefully, we get a couple Georgia viewers. Maybe we can change some minds or something. I don't know.
Maybe.
I just know how much it's worth, man. That's all. I know the value of winning these races. I know the odds are we won't win both. I actually, like, if I was going to give a realistic prediction, I'd say it would probably be a split.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at,
but
man.
I mean, let's try to take it and get the fucking Senate, man. This is the only shot we got. It ain't a great one, but it's the only one.
For the next 2 years, at least, yes.
Yeah. You know, I mean, so that's what politics is sometimes. Sometimes you're going to fight a battle. You don't know. I didn't know if we were going to win the election. Bro, Trump got 73 million votes. You know what I'm saying? Like, no one else in history would have beat him. Yeah, I still fought, bro. I fought till the fucking end. Like, some fights are just worth fighting. You know, win, lose, or draw. Some of these issues are just too important. That's how I feel.
Yeah, it's a shame more people don't feel that way. But yeah, the last week in a nutshell has basically been COVID and Trump acting like a child. Lawsuit after lawsuit, and most of them are getting dismissed. Everything's basically. When is the Electoral College certified? Like December 9th or?
It starts
December
Friday with Georgia. It goes state by state. Pennsylvania is the 23rd.
Okay. Yep, and Ohio's the 18th. I just know that because I know Ohio's the 18th state.
That's important information, Drew. Drew says the Democratic Party of Illinois has a link posted on its Facebook page to volunteer remotely in Georgia on the phones.
Man, that's crazy. That's crazy as shit. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm over it all. Like, let's get this show on the road. Grow up. Fucking grow up, Trump. And we get this shit going no matter what happens. If you're not, there's even if you found a little bit, they overturn a little bit, it's still not going to be enough to sway the election your way.
Nah, bro. Biden's got 306 electoral votes. Like,
yeah,
that shit ain't turning.
It's time for you to acknowledge. He did acknowledge, he said he won the other day in that tweet. Then some other bullshit, but
then he doubled back.
Yeah. So we just get this shit over with. January 20th is coming up soon. And until then,
I don't know if you heard, but Trump said that when he won 306 electoral college votes, that means that it's a landslide.
Yeah, that's
well, it was a landslide for him. For Biden, it's different because they're rigged.
Yeah, it's rigged.
He's such a bro. Like, oh god, like I don't want to make this show like just cracking on Trump, but you just could. You could just talk about him for hours and what a scumbag he is. I could drone on and on.
Yeah, it's fruitless now. I mean,
No, there it is. It's pointless.
now it's just
It's funny because he lost the election because he's a loser. It's 306 votes.
Oh, interesting. So Howard Stern, man, I wanted to pull this up somewhere so we could listen to this, but as I didn't make it to the studio because of all the bullshit today. But Howard Stern was talking about Donald Trump starting a media company, and he started laughing about it and basically said he'll probably run it into the ground like he does everything else.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? He probably will. He's a failure at most things. He probably will just tank that fucking company.
He's reached out to a couple people, digital medium only, because nobody wants to put up the money for him to launch a real media company, and the Murdochs do not want to get into bed with him because he's lashing out at Fox since they've turned on him since they recognized that he lost.
Well, they still had a news division. They got the opinion division at night, and those are the assholes. But during the day, they actually had guys that tell pretty honest news.
Yeah.
And that part just never sat well with Don.
So they said he's looking at an online thing, something with streaming. So because he could transition to that right away. Nothing has to be built out. So that's kind of really looking what his avenue will be. He'll go straight to digital media network
Straight to video.
where he could jump on live.
Straight to video. You're not even gonna go to theatrical release.
He's
straight to the $5.99 bin at Walmart.
He's gonna be able to just go live whenever he wants, where he can't be censored.
This is so unfair.
Yes. Unfair.
Everybody's saying.
Yeah.
Fuck him.
That's what he's looking to do because that's really the only option, you know. And more Republicans are trying to distance themselves now from him.
Sort of, but they got to keep his energy. Here's another good point for the runoffs, Ed. They got to keep Trump's energy engaged all the way to January 5th for that turnout. And I don't know. December's a long month, man. You tell me he's not going to totally check out by then? I don't know.
He's checked out already.
Right.
So it's everything's about to break until after Thanksgiving.
So we might get a really low Republican turnout on those runoffs.
Yeah, and then they're gonna come back after Thanksgiving for a week or two, and then they're off for Christmas, and they're not coming back till after New Year, which includes that Monday before the election will be their first day back at work. So they're I think he don't care. I think he cares, but he don't because he's pouting. So it's if a miracle happens and both of them flip, both those elections flip in Georgia, it's to his fault. It's nobody's fault but his own.
Michael Cohen was on the radio the other day, and he said that he thinks Donald Trump is going to go to Mar-a-Lago for Christmas and not come back. He's just not going to come back to the White House.
You mean the felon, Michael Cohen?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah,
I mean, whatever. Right. I'm a felon. Everybody who isn't a felon anymore. It's fucking America, bro.
He's not a felon.
You're a good man, Ed. Better than me.
But Eddie does have a mysterious story I want to interview him about one day.
No, the thing about Michael Cohen saying that he's going to go to Mar-a-Lago, I absolutely do not expect him to show up to the inauguration.
Oh no,
not at
No,
all. He's not going to do any of that shit. It's custom to invite the winner into the White House the day after, and things like that. And he's never going to do it. He doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, I'm hoping maybe he'll save face, but it's looking like the closer we get,
But his
come on.
saving faces.
There will be no face saved.
Yeah.
There will be no face
Oh.
saved. Not an inch of face. And by the way, one thing we kind of skipped over, let's not forget about his $3 million worth of recounts in Wisconsin. What did he get? 2 counties for
Yeah.
that?
Yes.
2 counties for $3 million?
Hey, Nevada told him $7.9 million up front if you want to recount. He's like, okay, I'll see you later. I don't have
Bro,
that money.
I still think there's a big story behind where the fuck all his money went, bro. That campaign was pulling in almost $300 million a month.
Well, it
And
looks
then all of a sudden they had nothing.
it looks like we might get a look at more of his debt structure now that he's not going to be president. So he's going to play out and like he's either going to have to lay all his cards out or he's going to have to go into hiding because he ain't going to be able to dodge the questions. Like the shit's coming up, according to that New York Times piece, the money, that 420 some odd million that he owes is coming up in the next couple years.
Yeah, but anything's possible when you could just lie. That's the thing. Like, I mean, I don't know how he'll actually have to deal with owing that money, but to anyone that's not the lender, he'll just lie. That's all he does. That's what he always does. He'll just keep lying.
Yeah,
He
but
won't stop.
yeah, well, the way that they're portraying it anyway is very entertaining, as if it might be from not traditional sources either.
Oh, it clearly wasn't, bro. His credit was burnt up in the United States a long time ago.
Both parties going to want that kept secret? How's it going to play out amongst the other things that he could be getting in trouble for in the next couple of years? So everybody wants to be so quick to say he's going to be the Republican nominee to run again in 2024, and he has court case after court case after court case that they're lining up like airplanes lining up to land in Vegas during peak tourist.
There's been a lot of talk over whether they'll indict him, bro, and I think they think that Joe Biden don't have the appetite to make his presidency about indicting Donald Trump. But the state cases with the SDNY, I think is they're really the lions lying in the grass.
New York really wants him. New York really wants him badly. I think New York's going to go after him. Whether Biden would pardon him after the fact is another thing. And
Biden can't. Biden can only pardon federal, not state. You need the governor for that.
Yes, and
Andrew Cuomo. Yeah, I'm sure. Here comes your fucking pardon, Trump.
Yeah.
I'm right on it.
I read a piece the other day about if Biden wants to demonstrate true unity between both parties, that he should pardon Trump for anything that happens.
I just don't think that the AG is going to have an appetite to fucking go after indicting Donald Trump, whoever the AG ends up being.
No,
I just think they're going to move on from all of that.
Business as usual, not having to deal with any other bullshit, because he's gonna.
Oh shit! Wait, hang on. Breaking news: Madigan, confidant, and 3 others indicted in ComEd bribery scheme allegedly aimed at influencing Mike Madigan, the Speaker of the House.
Bro, Mike Madigan's going to the joint. Like, so many people around him are getting indicted. It's only a matter of time.
You know what's funny is that the feds didn't know that Mike Madigan, the person that they, his chief of staff, it's not Klain, I forget his name. Mike McLean was charged with bribery and conspiracy bribery. But anyway, his chief of staff they raided his office, the Alderman office. They raided his downtown office first. And when the feds raid a downtown office of a politician, they always put up the brown construction paper and everything and all of that. So I have a buddy. Well, he's not a buddy, but a guy I know. I have a buddy who works in that office, in a different office, but very close next to the Madigan office. And about a week after, this started with Kevin Quinn's guys. Not Quinn. So don't get caught snitching, or don't snitch, but especially the feds. We were talking at his house maybe a year and a half ago after the first raid, and he told me, he said, the feds are going after the wrong guy, I know because they didn't find the right. They took his cell phone, but they didn't find the other one. And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, he's got another cell phone. The feds don't know about it. That's why I know that they're talking to the wrong person, because they went and grabbed this one guy's phone, but not this other guy's phone." And I was like, "Huh, that's really interesting." So about 8 months ago, the story came out that the feds found out that Mike Madigan's chief of staff was buying burner phones. He was paying somebody in the office to buy burner phones for him, which is why they didn't know about these phones. Um, so it's interesting. This case against Madigan is getting built, but I'm wondering how it's being built exactly, because from what I understood, they didn't have the operational insight into the office that you would have expected them to if they were raiding Mike Madigan's office. And now they've caught up to it, but we'll see what happens in the future. I just thought that was really funny that, Mike Madigan gets raided, and the guy I'm talking to is like, nope, nope, they got the wrong guy. um, uh, they're investigating sexual harassment charges and found him checks and kicked up the brother charges.
Oh, well,
Yeah, there's a big scandal brewing with kickbacks from ComEd and Madigan.
Well, and it started with, and that too, the Danny Solis investigation for bribery, where he was taking money from people in Chinatown, to help them build out, to gentrify Chinatown and make it the next Bridgeport, and Pilsen. That also didn't help. Danny Solis, scumbag. He's a rat. I never liked Danny Solis, by the way. I never liked him. And then I found out that he was snitching for the feds, and that really did it. But yeah, Kevin Quinn and what's his name? Ed Burke, notorious scumbag. Ed Burke was trying to shake down the owner of the Burger King on Pulaski, right off the I-55, which is the Burger King, the same Burger King where Laquan McDonald got murdered, and the Chicago Police Department deleted all that evidence from the machines, the video cameras. So yeah, these people are all scumbags. I mean, I think they're all scumbags. I think they're all rats too, and I wish they wouldn't have turned around cooperating with the feds, because fuck that. But the idea that Mike Madigan is not target number one at the top of the board, I would be very surprised if he manages to get out of this unscathed.
The feds they're all over his ass. They don't miss. He's in trouble.
Well, and the interesting thing about the Madigan family is Lisa Madigan, who's the former Attorney General of Illinois, is considered squeaky clean. Like, nobody has any problems with her. They love her across both aisles. And the reason for that is because she doesn't have to twist anybody's arm. She doesn't have to wink, nod, nudge. She doesn't have to do anything. She can play her job completely clean. And she does.
Yeah.
And so I think it's interesting when you talk about Illinois politics. They say that all politics is local, but it's not. All the politics, all the power is held in the hands of a couple of people. So it's interesting we talk about, Joe Biden versus Trump versus like Lindsey Graham. I think like we take it for granted on the national scale that, these people come and go. You remember Paul Ryan? He was the head of the GOP caucus at the start of the Trump presidency.
Yeah.
He hadn't said his name in years. People forgot how much of a scumbag he was by the time Trump entered his first year in office.
Well, when Trump came in, that changed the scale of scumbaggery. What we thought was really scumbaggy, we found out wasn't that scumbaggy after all. Yeah.
So I think it's interesting that the dynamics of power nationally versus locally. Us in Chicago have been waiting around for the Daleys and the Madigans to lose power for that's 20 years.
Yeah.
And really, when they really got kicked out of power, the Daleys was when Lori Lightfoot beat Bill Daley in the primaries to run for mayor.
Yeah, I forgot there was a daily and all that. I was glad Gary McCarthy didn't win.
Oh my God. Speaking of Chicago Police Department commanders, Tony La Russa is lucky that Eddie Johnson lives in Chicago, so he doesn't have to be the biggest scumbag alcoholic.
Hey man, don't be hating on my coach, bro. Where's this going?
Listen,
Where's this going? My man's can't
Tony
have a
La
couple
Russa
drinks,
is out
bro.
here, he's trying to big league himself, trying to get himself.
Oh, you sound like a Cub fan, bro. Where'd Theo go, bro?
Come on.
What happened to Theo, bro? Where'd he go?
He didn't go anywhere. He went to jail. He got arrested for a DUI.
Well, never mind. You're a Cub fan, aren't you?
No, I'm not. Just he's a scumbag. And a racist.
I don't care. As long as he wins me a World Series, he can be a scumbag.
I'll into that church. So they were investigating sexual harassment charges on Quinn and found a bunch of checks from ComEd that kicked off the bribery charges.
Yeah, my friend Drew is a political operative in Illinois, so he's kind of in some of these conversations and in these rooms. So he knows all these guys.
Okay. Yeah, we should get him in one of these days.
He wants to come in, bro. I was telling him today, we're just trying to get past the election. So
Yeah,
we move on to other topics, bro. We're fucking
talking about the
stuck
election
here.
in 2030, they're still going to be in court with Rudy Giuliani.
Waiting for the fucking man baby to fucking call it a day.
The ghost of Herman Cain will be filing suit in Pennsylvania in 2030.
The ghost of Herman Cain lives. Damn it.
Hey, he's behaving today. Shush.
Oh, he hasn't tweeted crazy today?
Oh no, I'm talking the ghost of Herman Cain be at the studio.
Yeah, he'd be fucking with the tech.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh, okay. We can't risk it.
But
yeah.
I think we covered everything. Oh, one thing I do want to cover: the Texas Attorney General is also being investigated by the feds.
Oh,
for being a scumbag.
Yeah.
He was elected the Attorney General of Texas after being indicted for like fraud and like stock.
That's right.
And now he's being investigated for bribery.
That's right.
Texas just don't care.
Lock him up.
Yeah, I mean, lock them all up.
Lock him up.
But
I think we went through our entire. That was my last point. I just wanted to say that.
Lock him up, bro. Go to jail.
We went through our entire list of conversational topics.
Yeah, it's right on where I'd like to be at.
Yep.
To end the show.
What do you think? Any predictions for the next week? Who's going to get indicted? What do you think?
Oh shit!
You know what?
There's so many people
Here's my bold prediction. Rod Blagojevich gets re-indicted and goes back to Detroit. I don't know for what. I've beaten his wife. He beat up his wife. I don't know. No, I'm just talking shit.
No.
I have no idea what the fuck. Bro, it's 2020. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I gave up trying to prediction a long time ago. I have no idea.
Anything could happen. But
anything.
I think the shit show is going to continue. I think Trump's going to Trump.
Hey, who are the Bulls drafting? That's what I want to know.
That's why
it don't matter.
I'm ending the show right now because I got
It don't matter.
Draft begins in 7.5 minutes.
Yo, you just see that?
You're excited, Eddie. Yes, you are. You love you some Billy Donovan.
I love Billy Donovan. I love Russell Westbrook. But they announced that Gar Pax was stepping down from the front office and they're firing what's his name? Whatever his name was. And somebody commented and they were like, all right, fire everybody. Make sure you fire Benny the Bull too.
What? Benny the Bull.
Did you know that Benny the Bull has caught like 3 major felonies?
Yeah, he's an alcoholic, the old Benny the Bull.
He gets caught, dude. One time he got caught serving like 4 ounces of crack.
Yeah.
Benny the Bull's with
the old Benny the Bull.
Benny the Bull has been to the joint like 3 or 4 times, bro.
The original Benny the Bull lived out here in Munster.
Yeah.
And then when he retired
in like 84 or whatever.
Yeah, from 84 to right, I think the first or second time Mike retired. And ever since they've had a bunch of fucked up people fucking playing Benny the Bull.
Yeah. All right, here I got one for you. I got one for you guys. Who's been to the joint more? Benny the Bull or Illinois governors?
Oh.
That's hard.
That's a tough one.
That's a tough one. We'll have an answer for that next week. Eddie, do that.
All right, we'll do some research.
We'll do some research. But
We'll do some research.
we're gonna wrap this up this week. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll be back next Wednesday at 5:00 to see what what this next week holds. And other than that, thanks for tuning in.
Thank you.
You did greatly.
Like, share, subscribe. Peace.
All that good shit.
Peace.
I'll let you
Bye.
guys next week.